Hello and welcome to this video on the RC Biker channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you can see more RC videos coming soon, and also the motorbike content as well, which we'll get going a little bit more when we're allowed out the house again. So in this video we're going to be looking at this buggy, one of the two buggies that I bought from eBay. I paid £90 for this buggy. It's a very nice quality buggy. I can't remember the name of it because I'm still out and about, but you'll see the name of it in the title down below, if not the comment section as well. So in this video we're just going to be setting the buggy up. I'm going to be changing the FM transmitter for a 2.4 gigahertz system. I'm going to test out the electronics and the servos, and then I'm hopefully going to start up the engine for the very first time. And I'm just going to show you how I would approach starting up an engine that I know nothing about. I don't know how it's been tuned, I don't know how it's been run in, I don't even know if it runs at all, but it does have good compression, so I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. So let's make a start, and I need to first, I'm going to grab the stock radio system, and I'm just going to see if the servos and everything work. Okay, so here's the standard radio that was included in this, and I think this just gives you an idea as to sort of how old this vehicle is. Obviously we don't know that this transmitter is the original one, but I suspect it probably is, because everything else about the car is standard, I believe, with the exception of the custom body shell. So I think this car's about 10 years old, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with continuing to use these FM radio. I think it's FM radio. It's nothing wrong with continuing to use them, but I've got lots of 2.4G receivers kicking around that I might as well, you know, rehome into cars that I'm going to be using. So there's no real reason to continue using it, but I'm just going to start by checking that the electronics work. So we turn the transmitter on, turn on the receiver. I'm just going to check the throttle. That seems to be opening and closing perfectly fine. And then let's check the steering as well. Lovely. So we know now that the electronics work, and I just wanted to check that before I change the receiver, just so that I know that it works, and then if there's an issue when I put the new receiver in, I know it's something wrong with the new receiver as opposed to wrong with the electronics. So I'm going to go and find a receiver, pop it in this one, and check it on 2.4G. So just looking at the collection, I'm going to nab a receiver out of one of these cars down here. Don't know if that one's got one in, but I know this one has. Not likely to be using that little short course truck for a while, so I'm going to nab the 2.4G receiver out of there and install it into the bug. I was going to have this receiver, but seems that the antenna's been chopped off, so I won't be using this one. Let's try and source another. Okay, good. So I've just found myself 2.4 gigahertz radio, got some new batteries in it, and just found a brand new FS GT2 receiver. I love these radios. These are really these receivers, I pay £4 each for these on Hobby King. So really good. And you're also going to need your bind plug as well, because we of course need to bind the receiver to this transmitter. These transmitters you can bind to multiple receivers at once, so generally I just use one receiver because it saves on the batteries, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and install it into the car. Okay, a couple of moments later, I've just binded the transmitter to the receiver, and there we go. Now upgraded to a much more reliable 2.4 gigahertz transmitter system. Well worth upgrade. If you're still running an FM radio, I'd say the number one upgrade you guys could do for your cars is replace it with a nice 2.4G radio setup. So I'm just going to pop this back into the case, and then we'll move on to the next thing, which is draining out the old fuel and then getting the engine started. And I thought at the same time, let's replace the 4AA battery pack with a HPI Plasma 6V hump pack. Sorted. Okay, so receiver now installed. It's running on 2.4G. Just also replaced the 4AA batteries with a 6V hump pack. just oiled up the air filter as well. So next I'm just going to empty out the fuel that's left in here, because it's got a little bit like jelly. Not too bad. And then we'll give the engine a fire up, see if she starts.